Thank you as always to those of you who are supporting the channel on Patreon, including the big patrons of the month, the Nerd Therapist, and Jack the Loudred. Thank you. Hey Pokemon Masters, Buggy Toby here, and I, like you, heard the news about the elimination of some Pokemon that won't be able to make it to Gala. They won't be able to enter the Sword and Shield Pokedex. I made a video about my feelings, they are very turbulent, and thank you, because the video was very well received. I know that the removal of some Pokemon is like a deadly, serious, emotional attachment to some people. But seeing as some have to go, and if you hadn't noticed, all of those Nintendo guys were kind of snapping an awful lot. Yeah, okay Infinity Gauntlet wielders, I see what you were doing. Seeing as a bunch have to go, let's choose some. But before I get into this video and hopefully destroy some of your favourite Pokemon, first of all I have to say a massive thank you to the sponsors of today's video, Display. Display are those lovely little bits of artwork that you've been seeing on the wall behind me, except they're not just like ordinary artwork, like a poster or anything like that. They're magnetic and they are so easy to swap out. I have a whole bunch of them. Check this out, look how easy this is. Goodbye Venusaur, you're not in the Gala Dex. Switch. Do you get it? I said switch because it's got Switch Joy-Cons on it. Anyway, they're made of a really sturdy, great material. The artwork looks absolutely fantastic, and there is so much more than just Pokemon fan stuff over there. You've got artwork of other franchises, nature stuff, and of course my very own Team Snooze posters. And if you use my discount code, you get 15% off of all of your orders, so go ahead, use them while you can. Thank you so much to Display for sponsoring this video. I really like rearranging my room and changing the energy of my room, and this way I don't have to take down and put up posters with great difficulty. I don't have to like put pins into walls. I literally just swap them out whenever I'm just feeling a different mood. And I've personally loved that. So thank you to them for sponsoring the video. Check the links at the top of the description to go check out Display. Get yourself some Team Snooze designs, maybe? And with that being said, let's jump into the video. So, I have been given the Junichi Masuda Thanos Gauntlet, and I'm going to click my fingers, and we're going to say half of all Pokemon life can no longer make it into the Gala Dex in Sword and Shield. Okay, how do you choose? How do you choose which should be eliminated? I mean, sure, there's Pokemon you dislike, but surely you don't dislike half of all Pokemon. I'm not a complete sadist, and there is some level of methodology to working this out. But I am, of course, going to do the thing that I always said I would do, which is if I had the chance to remove them, click my fingers, and 6 Pokemon in particular are gone. Simisage, Simipour, and the other one, which name I can't remember. Simisear, that's the one, they're all pretty forgettable. They are probably my least favourite Pokemon. Simisage is okay, but I feel like if you're getting rid of some of them, you have to get rid of all of them. So there's 6 right there. Second of all, and I'm using Sarabi's list where he's been compiling all of the different Pokemon that have appeared in Gala so far. Anything that's appeared in the trailer is just guaranteed to be in this because they've programmed it for these games. So with that in mind, I can have a look at what we do have and see what else we won't have. For example, we've seen Charizards in the trailer, so we're probably going to get the Venusaur and Blastoise lines as well. But with that in mind, the other starter Pokemon should really wait for future games. The Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova, and Alola starters and their evolutionary lines are all gone in this wipe. This is simply because they will have their chance to shine in future installments. I think the same is true for legendary Pokemon. Let's make the legendary Pokemon feel special and native to their region. We already know that Mew is going to be in this game due to compatibility with the Pokeball Go Plus. And on top of that, I think Meltan and Melmetal should probably be able to be transferred to these games just because we haven't really given those a chance to really shine yet. I'd like to see how they would interact within the Gala region. With that in mind, we're losing 4 legendaries from Kanto, 6 from Johto, 10 from Hoenn, 11 from Sinnoh? No, sorry, 14 from Sinnoh, 13 from Unova, 6 from Alola, and wow, 26. 26, that's including all the Ultra Beasts, all the Mythicals from the Alola region. All of them, snap, they are dust. Now, I hopefully got all of those numbers correct. If not, I might end up being around about half, but I think this will be correct. So at this point, we've already wiped a grand total of 146 Pokemon. Given that there's 809 Pokemon, we're looking to eliminate, what, 404.5 Pokemon? And we've already got rid of nearly 150, so that's pretty good. Next, I'm just going to talk about a few Pokemon that I'm not super fond of. Number 1 is Castform. While this region does have changing environments, some of those environments aren't relative to any of Castform's forms, and I just think it would be weird to take Castform into the wilds, where like it would have a rain form, but then it wouldn't have like a sandstorms form. I just think Castform, it doesn't really add anything to the Pokedex in my personal opinion. The Bibaracle line, Aromatisse Slime, Luvdisc, and why not a Mololola because they're really similar and they don't evolve, and it's just frustrating. None of these Pokemon particularly fit the region anyway, and they're just some of my least favorites. So allow me to be mean for a moment, apologies, they go in. Now next up, I'm going to do another bulk wipe, 134 Pokemon, and these 134 are all of the Sinnoh Pokedex from Pokemon Platinum, minus any of the Pokemon we've already seen are confirmed for Sword and Shield. like Lucario and Togekiss and Abomasnow and Hippowdon. Those Pokemon are obviously, they're already confirmed, and of course minusing any legendaries because we've already got rid of that. And the reason I'm choosing these 134 Pokemon from the Sinnoh region is simply because I think the next games in the franchise are going to be Diamond Pearl remakes, and so we can program them in then. We can have a look at them in their new animated 3D forms with their new animations and stuff when Diamond and Pearl comes out. So I'm happy to just save those for later. I'm actually going to do the same from Alola, which equals another 42 Pokemon, and another 83 from Kanto, because again, we just had Alola, we just had a Sun and Moon, Ultra Moon, and we just had Let's Go. So other than the Kanto Pokemon they've already announced and the starters, which I've said there might be, and the legendaries that we've removed, yeah. 42 from Alola, 83 from Kanto. Some of those, of course, were in the Sinnoh decks that we removed earlier because the Sinnoh Platinum decks has a lot of Kanto Pokemon. And with that in mind, it's already a pretty big wipe. If my calculations are correct, we have 81 Pokemon to go. This is where it gets a little bit more tricky. How do we choose the 81? Well, now that we've got rid of some of the Kanto Pokemon, there are still some Johto evolutions that we haven't got rid of, like Politoed, Slowking, Blossom, and Kingdra. These Pokemon aren't in the Sinnoh decks, they're not in the Let's Go decks, but there's no point in them being in the Gala decks because their pre-evolutions have already been wiped. So there's 4 right there. And then I went through and just chose some Pokemon that didn't feel like they were particularly attached to the region. I don't know why, but I felt Furfrou was a very Kalosian Pokemon. I don't think it would necessarily work in a Gala region. And don't get me wrong, I know, for example, like Gala, a monkey is Grookey, right? And the UK, not massively known for our monkeys, but I'm just trying to have some selection process here. Maybe your selection process would be different. The Claydol line, I can't imagine seeing anything like that in Gala. Volcarona, for example, it's a giant sun deity that is very much, I can't imagine that existing within the world of Gala. Just doesn't feel like it makes sense to me. Macargo, we have snails, we just don't have an awful lot of magma rolling around. So that's the Macargo line. I'm going to go with Ursaring because we already have a bear Pokemon we already have that in Snorlax. And Ursaring again, a grizzly bear like that, we wouldn't have that in the UK. Snakes like Seviper and Dunsparce, or Bison like Bouffalon. The Slakoth line, the Camerupt line, Cacnea, Cacturn, Maractus. These are all Pokemon that I just don't feel like they fit in a UK Gala region. So I'm going to get rid of those. Oh, also the Sphere line. I don't know when the last time I saw a Walrus in the UK was. And also, I'm going to get rid of Solrock and Lunatone. Again, we just had Sun and Moon, and they are the Sun and Moon Pokemon. Let's leave room for Sword and Shield Pokemon, like Aegislash, which will stay in the decks. Okay, so again, if my calculations are correct, we're at 42 Pokemon remaining. All of the fossil Pokemon that haven't yet been wiped. I'm talking about the Hoenn fossils, the Unova fossils, and the Kalos fossils. Don't get me wrong, the UK is a very archaeological type of place, if that's the right word. I'm hoping for new fossil Pokemon, and I always think if you've got new fossil Pokemon, don't, cram in all the other fossils from previous gens. Let's focus on having love for those new fossils. Heck, maybe this time we'll do 2 or 3 new fossils because we're not putting in any of the old ones. So that's 12 Pokemon right there, leaving us with 30 to go. I'm going to get rid of another 8 in the form of pseudo-legendaries, because looking at the decks that we have so far, there are already a lot of pseudo-legendaries in there. So I'm going to get rid of the Metagross line and the Salamence line and say that those can't be in it. I'm also going to get rid of the Noivern line, because while not a pseudo-legendary, it's sometimes considered in the same sort of tier.
Can't touch this. Touch this.
And again, things like Garchomp, that was already wiped ages ago with the Sinnoh decks. Taking us to 22. I'm also going to get rid of the Mandibuzz line because I feel like that is not an evolutionary line I'd expect to see in Gala. I'm surprised that we got its counterpart in Braviary in the UK. That's kind of confusing to me. I thought it was a very American Pokemon. Braviary! But yeah, okay, I guess we'll eliminate Mandibuzz. Why not? It's an extra 2 Pokemon. That leaves us with 20 to go, and I can have a look at other big regional trends here. We always have the fossil Pokemon, the starter Pokemon, legendary trios, that kind of thing. Another thing we have is the starting rodents and starting animals. Of this, there's already been a few confirmed for the Gala decks. I've already eliminated some of them, from like Kanto, Sinnoh, and Alola. But we can get rid of another like 16 Pokemon here if we get rid of the Tailo line, Fletchling's line, Patrat's evolutionary family, Zigzagoon's family, and and the regional bug, Scatterbug. If we get rid of that as well, that's 13 more Pokemon just gone. I had on this list just now that I am looking at, I did have the Pidove line, but actually I think the Pidove line with Unpheasant is a very Galan Pokemon. Galarian? It's Gala, so Galarian? Pidove, Pigeons, and Unpheasant, Pheasants, that's the kind of Pokemon you'd find in Gala, actually. So I'm gonna have to find 3 more to replace those. So 7 to go. Thinking about Sun and Moon Pokemon, I also thought of Heliolisk. We don't have giant monitor lizards that absorb the sun's rays. If we did, they would be very starved of sunlight because well, we don't get a lot of that here. And on top of that, two more in that same vein, Sunkern and Sunflora. While they absolutely fit the Gala decks, we have Sunflowers here in the UK. They absolutely would fit. If you have the opportunity to get rid of Sunkern, don't you just take it? Okay, that leaves me with, wow, 3 more Pokemon to go to replace the Pidovs, and I gotta have a look. I think I know exactly the family of Pokemon. Talking Mareep, Flaffy, and Ampharos. And why? Because our Lord and Savior Wooloo is already here in Gala. I'd find it a little bit odd to have both of them side by side. And with that, we have switched up the Pokedex. Removed about half. Now, I'm not saying that they're actually going to remove half. They might remove about a third. They might remove about a quarter. They might remove as much as a half. But what that means is they can put more time and resources into creating more new Pokemon, which is very exciting to me. And yes, I probably eliminated some of your favorite Pokemon, so I'd love to hear about how you would come up with this topic. Maybe even do a tag or response video. Or just leave a comment. I'll absolutely be reading. How would you choose your Pokedex in the Gala region? And also, which do you think? See, I do like the Venusaur, and it did stay in the Gala Dex. Thank you to Display for sponsoring this video. Absolute legends. Look how easy that was. Don't forget to check that link at the top of the description, and of course, soar high, Pokemon Masters.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeeper Toby. That makes you a Pokemon Master.